So hi guys, welcome to a new What's in the Box. This week we've got a new format with three individuals giving their own opinions. We've got Stuart, Trev and myself, Gav. We've got three War Machine items this week, each from a different faction. At the end of the show we're going to do a competition, so if you stay tuned you'll find out what you can do from there. And then over to Stu.
Hi guys, my item is the mighty Judicator for Menoth, which is one of the Colossals. It's a fantastic model and a real centerpiece for any Menoth army. So if we have a look at what's in the box. So here you can see, if I just show you what it's looking like there, nice and square. Pretty picture, nice big flaming Menoth Colossal on the front with the all the lovely gold work and the smokestacks and things. Looks a really lovely piece. You can paint it, I would imagine, as it is there, or if you've got your own style, I'm sure it'd be very easy to transfer one of your Warjack colour schemes onto this big beastie. Let's have a look what's inside. So, put the lovely packaging off. So, inside, protective foam, we have the ever important, though I'm sure with Mighty Menoth you'll never need it, your wreck marker for your Colossal. You have your base that your Colossal is going to come on. Huge item. It's also, interestingly, it's got the line of sight markings already sculpted onto it, which is a nice touch, I think. You've got your cards. The Colossal's so massive that actually it requires two cards to put all the rules on. The first one has all of the damage grids, and bits and pieces on there, and it also has on the back a nice little reminder of all the power attacks and things that a Colossal can do. The second card has all of the weapon systems on there, and on this creature we've got 6 different weapons that it can bring to bear, and it's also got the main stat line on there as well.
Fair amount of fire as well, isn't there?
It's fantastic Menoth edition. We've also got a very useful instruction book. The instructions on the Menoth kit just show how everything goes together. The majority of it looks like it's going to be resin, but there are a few extra metal pieces, and it just shows you how all of those socket in. Let's have a look at the items themselves. Comes in two clamshell packs. I'll just deal with the first one. So we've got, opening this first one up, we have, these are the size of the shoulder pads you're getting on this. So this looks like the left shoulder pad.
Those put a Space Marine to shame there, don't they, really?
They do. You've got the, these are some of the socket pieces that then connect in on the underside of the arms. Mighty fists that actually that are bigger than a lot of than the bodies of most light Warjacks. They're quite nice. And you're getting 2 of most of these items that I'm picking out here. This is part of the forearm for the Warjack. Now, on this piece here, there's a nice flat surface. That actually is for one of these shield arm pieces that actually then sockets right into the front of it here. So as you can see, you have the shield arm, that's on the forearm. Then with one of the fists, I'll do the right one here. Oh, I was right first time. One of the fists here will then socket in on there. So a really nice piece there, and a good sizable arm. And again, that shield arm is larger than a large jack, than a heavy jack. So that's quite impressive. Some of the other pieces we have, I'll just put these pieces to one side. So again, we've got another shield arm. We then have a nice signature of the Judicator. These are the missile pods. These are the rocket pods that go up there. These attach over the shoulders. So if you go back to where the shoulder piece was, so these are actually socketing in on this side here. So they're actually going to hold in like that on the Judicator. Really lovely pieces. The detail's lovely on these as well. There's loads of little rivet marks, vents, and then looking here, the missile hatches and the missile points here look a little bit bare, a little bit undetailed, and that's because there's going to be some extra metal pieces that's going to drop in on them in a minute. Little socketing bits here. Again, this just helps keep the missile launcher in place on the arm. And then, as all Mighty Menoth war machines should have, this is his backside shield, or his bum guard. So this will hang down behind the Judicator, between his legs at the back, and that just really does, it's like kind of a reverse snowplow, and that just shows him as he's walking along, everybody else goes, my, look at that fancy bum guard. Shoes are a big thing, not just for girls in their closets. Shoes for Menoth are a very, very big thing. And
in their closets?
In their closets. They're deep in that closet, though. The Judicator has a very nice pair of slippers. Again, nicely detailed, some lovely riveting work there. And again, the design style is very much like the Heavy Jacks. It's just an upscaled version. Very nice there. That's all that you're getting in that clamshell. So quite a lot already, quite a lot of components. But I think we've still got plenty more to come. I'm just going to get this out of the way. And we'll go for the second of the clamshells. So this one's got these massive legs. And this again is just the lower part of the legs. So each of the legs there, and there's one on each side.
Always helps.
It does indeed. Menoth hopping isn't something they're famous for. You've got the other of the shoulder guards that we talked about. Again, there's a really lovely sculpted crest in on that, really nicely detailed there. We've then got this piece is part of the mid-torso area. Okay, that's quite nice there. Again, that's got the these sockets here, which is where these, which are the vents, the smokestacks, these actually connect in like that, so they're quite nice. You've then got, so you've got a pair of those. Again, symmetry is a big thing, and again, so they're looking quite nice. Look, a pair of some kind of big robotic deer from this direction, but anyway, they look very nice. You've then got leg guards. These are some of the shin guards that the Judicator has. Again, these things are larger than even a heavy Warjack's body, and they're massive. And again, if you think about the legs, the Judicator's an absolutely gigantic machine. These are quite piddly legs, but once the armour is then sort of slabbed on the outside, it really does start to bulk the Warjack out. Finally, we're nearly at the end of the resin components. We have this, which is one of the main pieces on the Warjack. This is actually the socket just behind which the head ends up going. Okay, and then the final piece. Oh, actually, sorry, tell a lie. That isn't at all. I've just realised. Sorry, this is where the legs socket in. So the legs would go in on either side of this. So the legs would attach in like that. So again, this is the pelvis area.
And they're pretty solid plugs, aren't they? That hold them all together.
Yeah,
it's not going to be slipping.
No, I'd imagine you could probably. I mean, you probably would want to pin it, but you could get away without pinning this. I would imagine. It's a nice solid piece of resin there, and it's again just like most privateer stuff. It's relatively clean. You'll need to clean up some of these areas and some of these large casting points on here, but overall it's quite nice as opposed to other companies' resin or resin style products which have lots of air bubbles and things in them and make them not quite such a fine kit. Here we have a large part of the smokestack array, so the generator piece. This is where the majority of the torso is going to hang off of. Now that's the end of the resin. We now quickly shoot you through some of the metal bits. So this is your centerpiece. This one. This is where the head is actually going to socket into. This is the main rough area. You've then got, if I'll find his little Warjack head. There it is. So his head. All Warjacks have quite small heads in comparison to their bodies, and the Judicator is no different. But it's still quite a nice piece, and that rests in there quite nicely. It's quite a nice head. So you've got that rough. You then have, this is a large plate. This again connects down towards the bottom, just underneath the torso. So it connects in like that. You've then got, again, add-ons, some more. I mentioned some of the areas were a little bit devoid of detail. That's because you've got these lovely metal add-on pieces. These are going to socket straight onto it. So again, more detailed scroll work and things. The rest of it is more add-ons to the generators. We have some additional knee guards, again, to just really build up those legs. This is a large piece. In game, this actually enables you to, this generates a point of focus for your warjack. So as long as you give it focus, it will generate additional focus, which makes it, even for warcasters that aren't particularly focus intensive, this makes a really nice addition. And then finally, these are all the little weapon add-ons. So you've got stuff like, I mentioned about the missile vents being a little bit bare. So you have a very nice set of vent cowl covers and things. Again, they've got lovely scroll work. I mean, you probably can't see it from here, but the detail on these is really lovely. And then you've also got, where are we? Yeah, you've also then got the edges of the missiles themselves. And finally, you've got the flamethrowers. The Judicator has 2 large heavy flamethrowers built into its chest, which are lovely at dealing with close range enemies, and this got these in metal. So it really is a lovely, lovely kit, loads and loads of detail, loads of really characterful pieces that plug in, and it really does fit very nicely alongside the rest of your Menoth army. I love this kit a great deal. Only thing I think it's missing would be Fiora. Now, all of the Warjack kits are great, but obviously it depends on what Warcaster you take with them. Fiora, I think, should come with the Judicator, Fiora, the Epic Fiora in particular, because her ability to basically do an imprint on there and really add, make all the missile attacks flaming, which is what she can do with her area weapons, turn a very solid Judicator into an amazing Judicator, and I think it would be a standard feature of any Menoth list.
Excellent. Well, years of teleshopping hasn't gone amiss then. That was a very well done. So, Trev, what have you got to show us?
Well, today I've got the Trollblood's Mountain King.
Raise up a little bit. There we go.
There we go.
Lovely.
And this is one of the first Gargantuans to come out for Hordes. We have the stat cards for the Mountain King. Obviously, with it being a Gargantuan, you've got close to 50 hit points there. And this tells us again that he's got 2 big meaty fists, which both have reach, giving you extra 2 inches of reach when you're in melee. On the back, obviously, you've got the various abilities for the Mountain King. Next in the box, we come to a clamshell packed with giant chunks of resin. So the first I'm going to look at here is we've got one of the legs of the Mountain King. And again, this is just about as tall as any light warjack in the game, or any light warbeast. This one is just packed with detail, from the toes, from the growths on his foot, to the stony growths coming out of his calf there. And again, he's covered in chains, because obviously the backstory of the Mountain Kings is that they were deemed too powerful to roam the Iron Kingdoms, so they were imprisoned for millennia, and only just released recently to face off. Again, here's the other leg. Again, just packed with detail. There's a really nice, big, chunky slot here, which goes into the torso section. So you've got lots of really large surface areas where you need to glue them together. So although it's probably preferential to pin them together, you don't necessarily need to with there being such large surface areas. Here's the first of the arms of the Mountain King. And again, this is just huge. This fist is probably larger than the deal of some of the smaller models in the game. Again, the giant outcrops of rock emerging from the fist, and again, the detailing on the elbow, just the ripples in the skin, is just incredible.
And that's nice. I mean, that puts the Judicator to shame, really. I mean, I thought the fists were big before, but that...
I was going to say, when the Judicator came out, the fists on that are large, but this is just huge. Okay, the next piece we're going to go to is, let's go to the head. Here's the head of the Mountain King. This is just incredible. And this is from where he performs the Deadly Roar, which gives you the full blast template. Just incredible. Next up, we've got, I know that we've talked before about the Judicator and his rear guard, shall we say. This is the loincloth of the Mountain King. And again, it's a fairly simple piece. It doesn't necessarily need to be so incredibly detailed. But again, this is covered in stitches. It's covered in little wear marks and tears. Then we've got this interesting piece. This is part of the basing of the Mountain King. This is an area of smashed earth where the Mountain King's fist sits. So when he's standing there, he stands in a pose with one fist pounding the earth and the other fist raised in the air. The rest of this clamshell is packed with sort of minor detail pieces. Again, there's another section. Oh, sorry. There's another section here of the loincloth. And then we've got just a mass of little details. There's a large number of, if you can see here, there's a large number of chains, because again, I was saying the fluff, they were imprisoned, they've recently broken out with the help of the whelps. So there's just a large number of these metal chains which connect to various parts of the Mountain King on the arms and the legs. Just put those into focus, sorry. So it's just packed with these. Then what else have we got in here? Then we've got, as you'll see from the artwork on the front of the box there are loads and loads all over the Mountain King of whelps. They're either emerging from the skin of the Mountain King or they are hanging onto the chains for dear life. So there are, I believe, there's sort of half a dozen or so separate metal ones, and then there are a number of other ones which are emerging from the torso section of the Mountain King. So now we move on to the rest of the box. Obviously, you've got your gargantuan base, the 120mm base, and this one again has been marked with the line of sight markers here, which show you the front firing arc and obviously the left and right firing arcs of the Mountain King. And then we come to the series parts.
Because the fists weren't serious enough.
Well, speaking of fists, here is the other arm of the Mountain King. Again, a huge chunk of resin. And again, this is the one here, if I bring back in the area of smashed ground. So this is the piece we saw earlier of the smashed ground. And then what happens is here you'll see a giant sort of indentation. And this again, this sits perfectly in this piece of smashed ground to give you the effect of him just pounding the ground. Because again, with them being such huge war beasts, say the ground trembles as they march to battle. Then we've got the two largest pieces of the kit so far. This is the torso of the Mountain King. This is just a huge chunk of resin. Again, clad in chains, and again with whelps, you can see here, whelps just emerging from the skin of the Mountain King, because every time he takes damage, he can create a whelp.
Oh, good. So the more you hit him, the more you have to deal with afterwards.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. Here is the rocky spine of the Mountain King. Again, this is a huge piece of resin. To give you an idea, this is about 4 or 5 inches tall. And this piece slots into the torso section of the Mountain King. And this then is the largest chunk of resin that's on the Mountain King. And again, this stands sort of about 6 inches tall. And again, when he's mounted onto his feet here, it's just a colossal monster.
Nice. So, Stu, when I saw your Judicator, where's the spine on that?
Spine.
Ah, okay.
Again, to finish the box off, here we have obviously the assembly instructions. Again, as I say, it's a really large kit, it's full of detail, but one of the things that I particularly like about the Mountain King kits is that there are such large areas of space and gluable areas, so you don't necessarily need to put him together. With him being obviously made of resin, he's not particularly heavy, but as I say, the large areas there, so it's really easy to put together.
Well, thank you for that, Trev. So, 2 very good reviews so far, but we've left, obviously, the best till last, in my personal opinion. All on equal kind of strength levels, so on with what I've brought. Bit of a smaller box, but no means less powerful. It is Cricks, and as we all know, Cricks are instant win. I myself play Cricks. I'm an avid fan. My friends aren't. Mainly because I don't really do much work. I put them on the table, I walk away, come back, and they've won, or so they think. So here is my choice, the Bane Knights. So, all right, no, put it that way. Here are the Bane Knights, for those at home who can't read sideways. Obviously a smaller box than the other two, but no equally as powerful. I, as a Cricks player, find that most players quake in fear whenever I pull out anything with Bane in the title. And more Banes is always good. So, there's a stat card. Only the one. We only need the one. Oh, let's move this out of the way so we can see. So we've got a unit of 10 Bane Knights, all with rather nice halberds and arms, shields and everything else. Stat-wise, these things are brutal. They have Reach, Vengeance and Ghostly. So you've got a unit that moves at reasonable speed, can move through terrain without any problems, can move past other units and not get free struck, and have Reach, and have Weapon Master. Quite nasty. In terms of what we've got in the box, this is a shed load of bases, No markers on those, but you know, quite easy to paint yourself. And then we have, so the torsos. There are 10 models in here with a variety of different positions to the torsos themselves. Each one is rather nicely detailed, very well armoured. They've got the kind of traditional Crick style dresses, and then the plates of plate mail and full mail and plate armour. The heads are separate. Let's put these down here. Oh, and you've got a choice of either, if you can see, oh, you can see that there. Not particularly, they are tiny. Okay, helmeted or bare-helmed skulls. Now, then you have the shoulder pads. Now, I mean, the detail on these, you can't really see, they are tiny. In comparison to, obviously, Colossals. They socket in quite nicely, just around there. The detail is brilliant. I mean, there's lots of kind of really fine detail around the edging there. Personally, I like to paint that with glows around there. Lots of spikes. I mean, I put together a fair few Cricks things in my time, and as most people know, it takes a lot of blood, sweat and tears. Mostly blood, but that's not too much of a problem. So then you go into the arms themselves for the weapons. So you've got their Crick's halberds. Nicely detailed, all full metal. Ball jointed as well, so they connect nicely in here with the Banes, and can be positioned pretty much in any way you like, within reason. And then we should have another arm for each one. There we go. Same again, ball jointed in, sits around here, and then you have their shields. And this is what puts them above really the standard Bane thrall, is that their armour is 1 point higher, and with the reach and the ghostly, they're quite, you know, well stacked to get into combat reasonably easily. And with the ghostly as well, they can get there from any angle that most players aren't really going to appreciate being on the receiving end from. You know, running through trees or buildings or through that rocky outcrop that you thought was safe to hide behind with your retribution. Yeah, really nice kit. I mean, you've got a full unit here, so that's your full 10-man unit. It's just all easy, you know, everything's there, all the bits you require, and you don't have to worry too much about finding the place in stock that holds all of it. And that's pretty much what I've got to say about Bane Knights. Over to you, Stu, with details of a competition.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Gav. Yeah, we've got a great competition. For those of you that have been watching, you've seen 3 really great kits here. Obviously, the best of the 3, in my opinion, is the mighty Judicator of Menoth. It's a fantastic Colossal. It's a hefty piece of kit, and it can be yours to win. All you have to do is on the Beasts of War website, where I would imagine most of you are watching this. Those of you that are watching it on YouTube, just scoot across for a second to the Beasts of War site and put a comment on there. What we're going to do, we're going to be going through all the comments and randomly selecting one, and we'll notify you that you've won. It's as simple as that. Just comment, good or bad, whatever you thought of the video, or more importantly, how you think you might use one of these 3 things in the battle. And you never know, this could be winging its way to you soon. By the way, did I mention that the Judicator is the best one of the 3?
Well, I mean, you say that, but not eloquently done. But personally, I think, you know, the Bane Knights, or Freudian slip there, Bane Knights are a pretty tasty unit.
Well, granted, they make some kind of attractive jam under the feet of the Judicator as I step on you. But I suppose I can also set you on fire. Did I mention Fiora combined with this thing? Set you on fire, mash you up. I think the Judicator is still better.
See, I don't really fear that. I fear being pummeled to death more than that. I mean, you can't hit for 6. And
yeah.
As you guys know, I'm not a Cricks fan. I've never been a Cricks fan.
I don't think you're alone there. I don't think there's many Cricks fans.
I'm not a Cricks fan.
Exactly. There you go. But again, you know, I don't like Cricks, but I don't like Menoth either. So for me, by far and above both of these, mainly for me because of the backstory. I'm a bit of a fluff bunny, as you may know, and just the backstory of the Mountain King is just far above and beyond the Bane Knights and the Judicator, I'm afraid.
Where is the Troll King? Has he been?
Hang on.
Has he been scared from the table? Here we go. Okay, right. So
there we go.
Right.
So given the
that is quite an. I must admit that is quite an impressive. Let's just tidy this this Cricks filth off, shall we?
I put them on the table. I expected to win. I didn't have to put them together.
Yeah, whatever. So, of the three, well, okay. Judicator, massive model, real centerpiece, lovely looking piece of kit. It's gorgeous. It's, you know, imbued with the true way of Menoth.
Lots of fire.
Lots of fire, lots of rockets.
And a butt flap.
A righteous, holy butt flap. But yes, it does have a butt flap. It does have attractive sandal-like shoes, but all joking aside, it's a lovely, lovely bit of kit. The only minor issue that some have mentioned is it does look a little bit like a pigeon, which would be the tiny head and large ruff around it. Now, for me, that's a righteous ruff.
And a righteous pigeon.
A righteous pigeon, indeed. But if you want to play catch the pigeon with the Judicator, feel free, my friend. I have many rocket salvos and flamethrowers with your name on it. That's not a problem. I must admit, though, see, the Bane Knights are lovely, in my opinion. Anyway, I think the Bane Knights are lovely. But for me, they're a nice unit, but they're just still a unit.
Yeah, it's a bit underwhelming compared to the two giants opposite it, I must say.
I was going to say the word lovely for anything Cricks is a very, very subjective term. I wouldn't use the word lovely.
Yeah, I must admit, I think characterful-wise, for me anyway, I think the Mountain King for the Troll Bloods, it is lovely.
Yeah, I mean, anything that pops its own zits and then attacks you with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty impressive. Plus, it does have a spine, which, you know, sold it for me over the Judicator.
It is
butt flap, spine, meh. And, yeah, big lump of resin. I mean, the fact it comes with its own kind of scenic base bits as well, where it's punching into the earth, is a nice bonus. And everyone hates Cricks, so, yeah. I'd vote for that.
As much as it pains me,
I can see the bile.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It might be a bile thrall actually, but I'll just chew him back. As much as it pains me, as much as I really do dig the Judicator, I think it's a fantastic bit of kit. But I think as a piece, as a model, so if I take this out of the context of how awesome it would be in an army, as a model for the character, the Judicator is essentially what it should be. It's a colossal warjack, not a chicken. It's a colossal warjack. So it's a heavy warjack, but bigger. Whereas the Mountain King, I just think it is in a slightly different class. It's bags of character in it, and it really is quite a unique thing. Unique thing to put on the table. I think Trev might have this one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, over to you then, Trev.
Well, seeing as I won that wonderful battle, I get the chance to show you another thing. What I've got here is the Retribution of Skyra, Destor Cavalry. This box set's been out for a short while, but with the recent release of Epic Vira, they've become slightly more viable in the Retribution army. If we dive into the box here, let's have a look what we've got. Well, inside the main box, you get a sub-box, I suppose. And in here, we've got 2 clamshell packs. Just pop out here. And let's have a look what we've got in here. So first and foremost, we've got the unit card here, which shows you that in the box you get 5 models, each of which has 4 damage points, and they're armed with what I think is probably the best named weapon in the game. It is, of course, the Lance Cannon, which is
Fair dues, yeah.
one of the best weapons of the game, I think, specifically named-wise. It is, of course, pretty much exactly as it sounds. It's a lance with a cannon built in, so it's both effective at range and up close. So what have we got in here? Let's have a look. Well, to start with, we've got the horse torsos, which obviously come in 2 halves. Let's have a look. So they come in 2 halves. Let's have a look. They slot together pretty easily. They fit together really well. So that is obviously the main body of the horse, which comes in, say, 2 sections. The rest of the horse, we've got the heads in here. And again, they just slot on really easily. So they're a 3-piece model of the horse itself. And again, they're clad in that sort of iconic Retribution armour. Then we've got the riders. We start off with the torsos. And then you get the lances. Again, the aforementioned lance cannons, my favourite weapon. Then we have in the second pack, we have a little bag which includes the other items. So the shields for their other arms are connected to the arms already.
Oh, that's useful. Very useful.
And then we've also got in here the final piece, which is the ammo pack for the Lance cannon. Again, with 2 extra missiles in there. So altogether, the models are in 7 pieces. They're all metal. They're really, again, privateer press, really high quality casting. There's very little flash on here. There's very little preparation work required. Obviously, a quick file down just to get off any excess. And then I would say gluing these together will be just absolutely sufficient. Yeah, so that is, as I say, that's one model of the 5 in the box. Obviously, they come with the 50mm base. Yeah, and as I say, these models have been out for a short while now. They have, I'll be honest, I've not seen them an awful lot on the battlefield. So what I've done is I've brought them in stage to highlight, and again, with the recent release of Epic Virus, they become a little more effective, because Virus allows you to take additional units of these. Normally, you're only allowed to take 1 unit of Destor cavalry per caster, whereas with Virus, it allows you to take extras. And again, I say, just the Lance cannon should sell it to all of you quite easily.
He has a tier list as well, I believe, doesn't he? The new Virus, which again gives you all sorts of. And doesn't he have? I can only go by obviously Retribution. The way the other Retribution casters seem to work when they've got they have like a particular affinity with like House Guard units and things like that. Do the I think Virus, the new version of Virus, I think he has an ability where the Desters under his command get better as well. I believe.
Yes, they get a boost on the armor up to I believe 17.
Nice.
Yeah, because that's what they need, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Lance cannons armor 17 and a caster on horseback with them.
Absolutely, yeah.
My cricks are.
As I say, they're fast-paced. They're reasonably armoured for the cavalry. As I say, they're good. They're effective both at range and up close. So what you do, charge up to the enemy, fire at them to soften them up, and then just trample them under hoof.
Nice. I look forward to being trampled under hoof, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Throwing out as many stealth units as I can.
I could visualise. So I'm just trying to visualise it now on the table. I could actually see it almost like the Charge of the Rohirrim or something like that. You've got, you would actually have him in the lead, and then you could have also have like just a big spear of these Desters, a couple of units, maybe even 3 units coming. Oh, yeah, that'd be quite horrible.
And then just cricks just falling over.
Menoth, I think, would roll over on that.
Well, they roll over to anything, really.
Shut your face.
So, that's our reviews for the week. In terms of competition now, Stu.
Yeah, a reminder again, fantastic competition. As awesome as the Desters are, and as awesome as all the other things were that we've shown, this is the one you really want to win. The Judicator. So, you guys can win the Judicator. All you have to do is, if you're on the Beast of War site, just comment below this video. If you're seeing this on YouTube or some kind of weird alternate Russian channel or some other nonsense that you're viewing it on, just hop over onto the Beast of War site, go down onto the comments, and just put a comment on either what your thoughts are on the Desters or the Judicator.
Hate for the cricks.
Yeah, hatred for the cricks, with their Bane Knights or anything else they might have, and also the gorgeous Troll King.
Of course.
The Mountain King, should I say. So whatever it is that you've got thoughts on, share them with us. We'd love to hear it, and we'll randomly pick one of your comments, just saying about how cool Menoth are. No, any one of your comments we'll pick, and that person will be notified by us over the next few weeks to win the Judicator.